Good afternoon, friends. Welcome to another mobile edition of Crime Time with DutyRon. Yours truly, DutyRon, checking in with you today. We're going to do just a quick talk in regards to the Moscow, Idaho murder case. These four young students. We're no closer to any answers over 2 weeks out as we were from day one. So I'm going to get into it with you guys. Thank you so much for joining. I want to say a special thank you to the replay viewers, the new subscribers, the moderators, and everybody who positively engages here. Great to see you, Trudy. Thank you, Sleuthy. So, this is going to be, again, a quick one from the car. I just got a couple of minutes to chit chat with you. Tonight, we're going to have a special Forensics Friday on a Tuesday night with Ed Wallace. And Ed is going to educate us on a bloodstain pattern analysis. There's a lot of people who are unclear still, about this stuff. And I think what Ed's going to go over tonight is going to educate a great deal of us on bloodstain pattern analysis and everything crime scene related. So it's going to be really cool. Yes, Alicia, Tuesday is the new Friday. I like it. I like it. Um, it's really frustrating because there's nothing happening with updates. There's no named suspect. Police are still um, doing their behind the scenes investigation, and that includes interviewing, following up on leads, following tips, making phone calls, going to people's apartments. And don't forget, all of the kids that were away for the Thanksgiving holiday, a great deal of them have returned to the campus. There's a certain percentage, and it's not, over 50% that didn't come back. There's a great deal. I'm looking at these news reports, and it looks like more than what I thought. Kids returned to the campus, and some of the people that I saw interviewed, some of the students that I saw interviewed said, we had to come in because there was no remote learning for the class, for you know the trade that they're learning. I think it's somebody in fashion design or something like that. She had to go in because to use the sewing machines and so forth. So not everybody had the option to remote learn. But I think, again, if it was my child, if it was my young adult going to college, I probably wouldn't feel comfortable sending them back there. But, they stepped up the patrols and they stepped up the security, and some off-campus houses and some, I believe, uh, on campus, they beefed up private security. And that just goes to show you how shaken this community is, how upset everybody is with what's going on. You potentially have a murderer or murderers on the loose. It's an unsettling thing. I mean, even me as an adult who can legally carry a firearm, I wouldn't feel comfortable if there was somebody running around my neighborhood or somebody who committed or somebodies who committed four murders in my neighborhood, even though I can handle myself. I wouldn't be comfortable with it. By a show of hands in the chat, let me know what you guys think. Um, would you be comfortable if somebody in your surrounding community, there's a huge apartment complex just if you're standing in front of the murder scene, just to the left, there's a huge apartment complex, and there's also private homes to the right and to the rear, and straight facing straight forward. Think about all those people who occupy those residences or those apartments. Yeah, if I was in the studio, I'd be hitting the oh hell no button. Matty Boy Sully, good to see you. Hi Jennifer. Hi Princess Michelle. Sweet Soul, thank you for being here. JD, Ann, Schmitty, Tina Wright, good to see everybody joining in the chat. MJ, thank you. You know, again, there's a lot of Ray Kelly, great to see you. Thank you for joining. Val Fitz, good to see you. Curious Kiwi, thank you, Cami. N, Norm Garvey, Brandy H, Miss Donna Marie. Listen, you guys are all great. But there is a lot of rumors continuing to swirl. I'm reading reports and I'm looking at reports of alleged. I almost don't want to get into it here, but there's a lot of people talking out in fake book land and all over the internet about potential scenarios. And these are potential scenarios that none of us have verified information on. And that's where the problem comes into play is people talk about dismemberment of one or more of these victims. They talk about, you know, big guy at the food truck being involved, and all of this stuff has consequences because people see it and read it and look at it. If we're reading it, then maybe the family's reading this stuff. Maybe relatives, maybe good friends of these victims are reading this stuff. You'll never hear me talk in depth about this stuff, and I see it. People share it with me, and thank you to everyone who shares it with me. But out of respect, because we always talk about the victims and their families, right? Out of respect for the victims and their families, I would refrain from that kind of conversation. Listen, we have tough talks about crime scene here, right? This is what our channel is about. Crime Time with DutyRon is about educating from the police perspective, the police detective's perspective. So there's no easy way to speak about this stuff, but we try. Ed and I try our best to do it with respect. But what we're doing is giving you, the viewers, the friends, the community folks here, we're giving you the right education on how the process works. How crime scenes get processed is a big part of any case. A lot of the missing person cases that we cover, like little baby Michael Monkey Vaughn, turn into murder cases. And speaking on that, we just got positive identification back yesterday, I believe, from the FBI, that his remains were positively identified. So I send prayers to his mom, his dad, the complete community over there, in Fruitville. And you know what? Listen, man, that is the worst case scenario. It's the worst nightmare for any parent to get that news. Think about these four families who got the news. And regardless of how they got the news, it's devastating. It is that was one of the toughest things that I had to do as a police officer is go and make a notification. Go and make a notification. Again, I'm let me step back because of course it's a live video. I misspoke. I was talking about Quentin Simon. So I had Michael Monkey Vaughn on my mind because I plan to talk about that as well. That backyard was dug up, and there's still no confirmation on Michael Monkey Vaughn. So I misspoke. I'll have to do a retake on that one. But I'll go back and I'll put a statement in the pinned comment. I was talking about Quentin Simon, found, and the FBI confirmed his remains. So I back that up. I digress. This is part of what happens on a live. But Michael Monkey Vaughn, and the reason I brought him up is because we talk about people who put out rumors and put out misinformation. And that's in that case, there was just so much of that going on. And I want to say, listen, any of the crime victims' families, any of the people who are victims of crime, their families go through such a tough, tough time, you know. But death notifications are the most heinous to make. They're the most horrific to make. They're the most emotional to make. And you don't want to wish that, again, that job, I wouldn't wish that on anybody because it is so difficult to do. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, there'll be a press conference on December 1st about Michael Monkey Vaughn. Again, I apologize. I stand corrected on it. And again, Flip flop. Thank you. I had to rewind. Uh, that's the when you upload videos, thank you for that super chat, by the way. When you upload videos, you have a chance to edit, right? If you make a mistake, you're having a chance to edit. But I do these lives because I enjoy the live audience. I enjoy the live chat. So Quentin Simon, we sat and waited for over a month. They were in the landfill, right, searching for his remains. They made that recovery. They made a press conference. We covered it here. But what happened is there was no 100% positive ID until yesterday. So yesterday, the FBI made 100% a positive ID on Quentin Simon, 20 months old. His mom is arrested, is in jail for it, and it was just such a horrific day of crime news yesterday. Like that to me, just broke my heart. We knew it was the inevitable that it was going to be a positive ID, but when you get it officially, and I'm sure that they did DNA and that process and so forth. When you get that officially, it's just like it just hurts you in the heart. It hurts in the heart. So I wanted to tell you guys quickly tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. Um, Ed Wallace and I, Ed Wallace and I are going to be live, and we're going to be talking about it's Forensic Friday on a Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, blood stain pattern analysis. And it's something that you're probably not going to want to miss because he's going to go over a lot of very important information. And we'll open up the live chat towards the end of the live stream. We'll open it up to some questions. And tonight I'm gonna try to send the link for StreamYard out towards the end of the show. What I want is for a couple of you guys to get your questions together about blood pattern analysis, and if you have questions about any cases that we've covered where you have evidence collection like this. And I know Moscow, Idaho is what's at the forefront here. So the questions could be anything related to any case where there's blood recovered at the scene. So we'll keep it to that. Ed Wallace is here now in the chat. I got to run back in to my office in a few, but 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be live, Ed Wallace and I. I think it's going to be a really good one. I hope each and every one of you guys take the opportunity to set the reminder, ring the bell, and subscribe. Gary, great to see you. Thank you for joining. Always good to see everybody here in the live chat. Replay viewers, you guys are great. I appreciate you. Hi from Wales. Good to see you, Dell. Hi, Judy. Good to see you, Cammy, Mandy. Oh, this chat is moving fast. See the law student neighbor on Fox News with the bandage on. That's not a bandage, by the way. That was I saw it. I looked at it quick. A lot of people, if you have carpal tunnel, if you have a wrist injury, it was a wrist splint. It was not a bandage on his. Looked like it was his left hand. But thank you for that super chat. People get jumped too quickly onto. Listen, you think if that guy had a bandage on his hand and he had trauma to his hand that the investigators wouldn't call him in right after that, viewing that video, that news report? See, this is where things get crazy and get out of line. And I know people are pointing the finger at that guy and saying that he's suspect and that he's peeking in windows. The statement I heard him make is that he has walked his dog and could see visibly the windows. When you walk past, if you walk up that street, which leads to the back where the parking lot is, you could see down into the house. Again, we're all making this guy guilty of 4 murders on the internet, and that's always not a good thing. So if the police or the FBI, and the FBI is investigating this crime very heavily, if they had any inkling that he had anything to do with it, example, wrists or injury to his hands, they would be pulling him in, and there would be an interview slash interrogation. So again, Jamie says it well. Wait for the facts. Yeah, people jump to conclusions too fast. The internet is a dangerous place. So we won't partake in that here. Lieutenant Pete Pranzo is here. Thank you for joining. If Lieutenant Pete is here, that means Richella is here. So thank you, AGAT, DutyRon, no jagaloons, only facts. Yeah, Alicia, yeah, exactly. It's crazy. It's crazy what goes on. Um, hold on a second. Sleuthy is in the chat. I always like to see what Sleuthy's got to say. I have news for everyone. He hasn't even been interviewed. Well, I mean, I don't know how we would how would we confirm that he hasn't been interviewed by any police? Because I think I saw his very first interview was outside his apartment, and he said that the police were coming and knocking at doors. So if he hasn't been interviewed, then he will. He will be, and he will be probably quickly now that everybody's talking about him. English Goddess, good to see you. And if he's not interviewed, shame on them. I mean, I know I would want to interview everybody and anybody who's talking. And he did, I think, 3 interviews on the internet. I saw him once in like a shirt and a white shirt, another time out in front of his house, and everybody talked about a bandage. I saw a wrist brace on his wrist. That's what I saw. I didn't see a bandage. Um, yeah. Well, he said it, but what I'm saying is that he would have been brought in if they felt the same. Exactly. Exactly. They look at these interviews, they look at everything that's going on, they do peruse the internet, you know. So it is what it is. All right, listen, I think we did it. I think I covered enough. I think I covered enough here today. It was a quick live that I wanted to do chit chat with you. But yeah, make sure you guys are subscribed here if you're not yet subscribed. And to all the new subscribers, thank you to everybody who has been subscribed. Everyone's a channel member, everyone who's part of this community. Thank you, thank you, thank you on behalf of Ed Wallace and myself. So 9 o'clock tonight, Ed's going to be breaking it down. It's going to be pull up a chair. It's going to be remote learning. It's going to be a classroom atmosphere tonight. But I want you guys to bring questions. And when I share the link to StreamYard, I want at least a handful of you, hopefully, to come up and ask some tough questions. Ask questions about blood. Ask questions about, evidence collection. Ask questions pertaining to crime scene analysis. I think it'll be a good one. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Crime Time with DutyRon and Ed Wallace. You're not going to want to miss it. You're welcome, Mary. How are you, Mayor? Good to see you. Mary's transplant from New York down to Florida, a good friend of mine. Yeah, if you guys can't make the show, watch the replay. It's gonna be worth it. Um, we're gonna cover a lot. It's gonna be a 1 hour jam-packed classroom with Ed Wallace. Learning tonight. It's gonna be a learning evening for all of us. I hope to see you guys all there. As I always like to say, and when we end these, God bless the world, God bless the United States of America, and God bless each and every one of us here in the chat, but especially victims' families here over in Moscow, Moscow, Idaho. We send them strength, prayers, and positive vibes. And again, thank you all for being good human beings. And thank you for hanging out here on Crime Time with Duty Ron. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace and love.